My 5-year-old daughter had to take medicine that made her vomit. Every time minus what I did without telling my wife changed her entire relationship with treatment. My daughter Ellie was diagnosed with a rare autoimmune condition at 4. Her daily medicine was crucial but tasted so awful she'd vomit immediately after months of failed attempts, and my wife's increasingly strict approach. I secretly replaced the medicine's bitter taste with a tiny amount of honey and created an elaborate suppurator ritual around taking it. 6 years later, Ellie still doesn't know. Her mom never knew about our sacred mission, but her doctors now use our method with other children. When my daughter Ellie was diagnosed with juvenile dermatomy pessitis at age 4, our lives transformed overnight into an endless cycle of hospital visits, specialists, and daily medication schedules. The worst part was the corticosteroid treatment purned a thick, bitter liquid so repulsive that Ellie would vomit almost immediately after swallowing it. Since the medicine needed to stay down to be effective, we were caught in a devastating cycle. She needed the medicine to survive but couldn't keep it down no matter what we tried. My wife Sarah, a pharmacist, approached the problem with scientific precision. She tried mixing it with juice, chocolate syrup, and ice cream. She implemented a reward chart with stickers. She even contacted pharmaceutical companies about alternative formulations. Nothing worked. After 3 months of daily battles, Sarah's approach became increasingly rigid. "That's all there is to it," she would say, her voice strained with worry. Our kitchen table became a battleground every morning and night, with Ellie sobbing, Sarah growing more frustrated, and the medicine almost always ending up in the toilet or on the floor. One evening when Sarah was working a night shift, it was just Ellie and me for the dreaded evening dose. "Daddy, please don't make me," she whimpered, her small body trembling as I approached with the medicine cup. Something broke inside me. I put down the medicine, pulled her into my lap, and we both cried. When we finally calmed down, I made a decision. "Ellie Bean, I have a secret mission for you," I whispered. "This isn't just medicine. It's special sublimeter serum, but it's disguised to taste awful so villains won't steal it." Her tearful eyes widened slightly. I went to the kitchen and did something I knew Sarah would never approve of. Perna put the tiniest drop of honey directly on the measuring spoon before adding the exact dose of medicine. The honey coated Ellie's tongue first, masking the initial bitter shock that triggered her gag reflex. "Now you have to take it like all superheroes do," I explained. 3 deep breaths, then swallow the serum, then immediately say your power words while I count to 20. "What are power words?" she asked. "Whatever makes you feel strongest, what makes you feel brave." She thought for a moment. "Eiley the great, mighty, and strong." We practiced the breathing. We rehearsed the power words. We created an elaborate handshake to complete after the 20 count that night for the first time in months. Ellie kept her medicine down. "Don't tell Patches about the honey," I whispered as I tucked her in. "It's our super secret." The next morning, I prepared her dose the same way before Sarah came downstairs. Ellie performed our ritual perfectly, completing it with a wink that nearly broke my heart with pride. "She kept it down," Sarah exclaimed, looking at Ellie with a mixture of surprise and relief. "What did you do?" "We just found our rhythm," I said, feeling slightly guilty but seeing the dark circles under my wife's eyes from months of stress. Our secret mission continued for the next 2 years of Ellie's treatment. The honey trick worked because it wasn't about masking the flavor of the entire dose and something Sarah had tried with larger amounts of stronger tasting foods. The tiny amount of honey simply protected Ellie's taste buds from the initial shock, while our ritual gave her a sense of control and purpose. When Ellie's rheumatologist noticed her suddenly perfect medication adherence, I eventually confessed our method. To my surprise, she wasn't concerned about the honey purn. In fact, she began recommending similar approaches to other families. Ellie is 11 now in remission, but still needing occasional treatments. She still performs a version of our ritual, though she no longer needs the honey. Sarah eventually discovered our trick years later when Ellie casually mentioned our superhero serum during a family dinner. "Why didn't you tell me?" Sarah asked later that night. "Because you needed a break from being the bad guy," I admitted. "You were carrying so much part in managing her care, researching treatments, fighting with insurance. I thought if I could handle just this one thing." She was quiet for a long moment. "Next time, we're partners in the secret mission."